What's up? It's Destiny back again for another video, and today I'm going to give 5 top tips for going on your first date. Now, I did make a reel on Instagram about this. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should, at It's Destiny. And so I just wanted to elaborate on some of those tips here because you know on the reels you only have so much time that you can really have to talk. So I'm going to elaborate on those tips here. Also, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, this channel that you're currently watching, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You might as well hit the like button while you're there. But you want to hit that subscribe button and that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I make an upload. Okay? So the first tip that I would like to suggest when you're meeting somebody, and when I'm saying you're meeting somebody, it's usually if you're meeting them off social media, if you're meeting them from a third party, even if you're meeting them in the store, at Walmart, or at work. Well, maybe not at work because you might kind of know them. But if you're meeting somebody for the first time and they want to take you out on a date, I would suggest meeting them at that date location because you don't want to give a person access to where you live or where your family is living. They don't need to know that information because you don't know if this is somebody that you want a part of your life. You don't know for sure if this is somebody that you can trust. So I would suggest meeting the person at the location that you're going to have the date. Also, by knowing where you're going to go ahead of time, it gives you a chance to look at the menu. It gives you a chance to decide what you're going to order, what you're going to drink. It gives you time to let the people in your life know, hey, this is where I'm going to be at. If you want someone to tag along and act as if they're a patron of the restaurant or the place of where you're having the date, or just so that you can have people nearby should, God forbid, the date go down or go in a negative way and you need to have somebody close and nearby. So I think meeting the person at the location. All right, tip number 2, I would suggest having basic information about this person, like their name, full name, first and last name, maybe where they're from, maybe where they work, the type of car that they're going to be driving. Have some basic information. Like, it's so easy to go on Google these days and Google the people that you're interacting with. And there are some other sites where you can get a little bit more information about the people that you're dealing with as well. But at least having that basic information is good enough so that, again, you can like for my instance, I'll be letting my sister know. I would be letting my mom know, hey, I'm going on a date. This is where I'm going. This is who I'm going on the date with. This is how they look. This is the car that they're driving. Basic information. Give me a second, please. Mommy mode don't stop. I try to come on here professional. I try, but it don't stop. So you want to have a basic amount of information to pass on to a loved one so that they will be able to, hey, God forbid something happens, this is the person's name, this is how they look, this is what they drive, so on and so forth, okay? You also want to share your location. Again, for me, I share my location with my sister. Any given moment, I'm not picking up the phone, I'm not able to be reached. She could look on the app on iPhone is what we have, and she can see my location at any given moment. It is imperative that you share your location with somebody that you trust, somebody that you care about and that cares about you and your safety. So if anything goes down, they will already know, hey, this is where they are. Notify the authorities, or hey, let's go check it out. Let's go scoop the scene for ourselves. You got to share your location with somebody. All right, and not only for dates. This is on a regular basis. Regular basis, my sister can see my location. It don't have to be a date. She can just see my location, period. Okay, also tip number 4. I would say don't feel pressure to do anything that you don't want to do. Like, sometimes people will be like, hey, let's take a shot. Hey, let's have a drink. If you don't want to do those things, don't do it. Don't feel pressure to do it. Hey, I was thinking about going here after this date, after this portion of the date. Let's go back to my place, or let's go over here. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You're not obligated just because somebody paid for your meal, paid for your Uber, or paid for your drinks to go forward with the date if that is not something that you don't want to do. Okay, do not ever feel pressured. And if someone is making you feel pressured, that's a red flag. Go ahead and mark that little check. That's a red flag, and that's not something that you really want to deal with. So already have a boundary. Like I'll say for me, like if I'm going on a first date or something like that, I'm not going to have more than one drink. I'm not going to go to a second location. I'm not going to their house. They're just boundaries that you already have in place. They're not coming back to my place. You know, there's just boundaries that you should already have when you're deciding to go out on a first date, what you're not going to do, what you will do, but what you're definitely not going to do. You want to have those things in place so that there's no confusion, there's no miscommunication, and there's absolutely no pressure to do anything more. All right, so tip number 5, I would typically say, obviously, keep a firearm with you. Conceal and carry. The person that you're going on the date with does not have to know that you are concealed carrying. They do not have to know that you have 2 knives in your purse. They do not need to know that you have pepper spray. They do not need to know that you have a firearm strapped to your thigh. They don't need to know these things. You don't have to disclose that information if you don't want to, but don't feel that you don't have to carry just because you're on a date, and you should trust the person you're on a date with. Sorry, I don't trust anyone but myself, you know? So take your firearms, take your knives, take your pepper spray, take your tools that are going to be able to aid, God forbid. And it's not necessarily for your date. What if you're walking to your car and someone comes out of the bushes acting crazy and you have to defend yourself with some form of tool? Be it a knife, a pepper spray, a whistle, whatever tool you decide to use, you need to have it because it's not necessarily for your date. We live in a very wild world, okay? Anything could go down at any given moment, and it does not have to be the person that you're with. It could be an external factor, and you want to be prepared for that. You don't want to wait. Someone's trying to get me. Hey, don't get me. Let me call the police first. Hey, don't get me. Let me go call my cousin them. Hey, don't get me. Let me go. We don't have time for that. You have to be your own first responder, so you have to be responsible for your safety, which means you're going to need some tools to aid in that, especially me. I'm only 5'3". People think I'm tall. They think this and that. Nah, I'm not. I'm on the shorter end of the spectrum. I'm not going hand-to-hand combat with a 5'9" man, a 6-foot man, a 6'3" man. I'm not going hand-to-hand combat with that person. I'm going to have an equalizer. My choice of equalizing is a firearm, okay? I'm not doing that. So you want to have tools to be able to ensure your safety, because at the end of the day, you just want to make it home. You want to enjoy your date. You want to be safe while you're doing it. You want to be situationally aware, even when you're out on the date. Just a little bonus tip. I know typically if a man is going to allow his back to be to the door, that's a red flag for me. But if he chooses to have his back to the door, you got to make sure that you're watching. You got to make sure that you're looking. You want to remain situationally aware. That's in all forms, all situations, all settings, no matter what. All right, and a bonus tip that I would like to add is, if you can, get the person's license plate number or take a picture of the license plate. Say y'all meet up at the restaurant or the outing that you're doing for your first date, and you see the car because maybe you arrived there sooner, which I would advise arrive to the date first so that you could see your date come in. Snap a picture of his car, snap a picture of the license plate if you can. Send that over to your friend, send that over to your sister, to your mother, to your close, confident person that you're sending all this other information to, just in case. And I just want to reiterate, this is not trying to make people paranoid. This is not living in a world paranoid. This is not living your life in fear. This is not manifesting negativity, bringing negativity into your life. This is none of those things. This is being prepared for whatever. Like I said, we live in a world, it could go down at any given moment, and you don't know who's going to be bringing it down. Okay, so you just want to be prepared. This is all about prevention. This is all about preventative maintenance. This is all about being your own first responder, making sure that you get home safe when you leave that door, whether you're going on a casual date, a first romantic date, a night out with your friends, whatever the case may be. These tips can be used in your day-to-day life, but especially when you're going on a date. I know a lot of people like to be private. They don't like to have people in their business, especially if it's a date. You don't want to introduce people to your family, or you don't want to tell your family about a date because it might not go beyond that first date. It might just be a one-date situation. Y'all aren't compatible. People want to keep their privacy. I totally understand, but there has to be at least one person in this world that you could share this information with, so that they could be on the lookout, so that they can be on that a phone call away if something happens. You gotta let people in your life know what's going on so that there won't be any issues, okay? Also, this is just a little tip I threw in. I know sometimes when I'm having people come over to the house, doing construction or fixing something, I might tweet it. So-and-so from such and such is over here. If I'm not tweeting in 30 minutes, y'all come send for me. I say stuff like that. Or you could go on your Instagram story. Hey, going out for my first date. If I don't report back within 30 minutes, y'all be on the lookout. Or, and it's like, girl, who cares about that? But when I see messages like that, when I see tweets like that or stories like that, I'm checking back. Girl, you okay? Bro, where you at? What's going on? How the day going? I'm checking in. And these tips can be used for men and women, whoever, Zer, whatever you identify. If you're going on a date, if you're going on an outing, if you're whatever. This applies to any and everyone, okay? I just want people to know that this is not just a woman thing. This is not just, I relate because I am a woman, okay? But these tips can be used for anybody who's going on a first date. Safety first. And like I said, you never know who the perpetrator is. You never know who the person with ill intent is. So you just want to be cautious at all times. All right. I hope that you found these tips helpful. I hope that you use them in your day-to-day life. If you have more tips to add, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. This is a community. We all want each other to be safe. We all want to have the knowledge and the information. So if you have any additional tips, please leave them in the comment section below. Please be sure to like this video. We wanna like this video so that we could get into the algorithm, so that this could be requested to more people, because again, this is very vital information that people should have, of all ages, of all races, of all genders and identifications. We want people to get this information. So liking this video, sharing this video, and subscribing to this channel helps with the algorithm and helps us get out there so that more people could come learn and enjoy this type of content. All right. So if you love someone, tell them I love you all.